She misses the man she can't predict, not the man who performs. Let's be real, folks. You've tried being nice, funny, always available. You reply fast, explain yourself, crack jokes to fill the silence, and somehow she still drifts. You plan the dinner, you send the playlist, you give reassurance on demand, and she thanks you with distance. That isn't bad luck, that's bad strategy. When you make yourself easy to read, you make yourself easy to forget. Here's the shift. You stop chasing comfort and start building curiosity. You create emotional echoes she replays when you're not there. You leave mystery gaps her mind wants to close. You anchor moments so her body remembers your presence long after the conversation ends. This isn't manipulation, it's discipline. I'm here to help you wake up, not to coddle you, my friend. In this video, I'll give you the simple, stoic-backed moves that separate you from every man competing for attention. You'll learn how to speak less and mean more, how to time your exits, how to use silence like a signal, and how to walk away with calm so she leans in with desire. High-value women don't choose noise, they choose gravity. Build gravity and options collapse. If you're tired of being almost memorable and ready to be unforgettable, stay with me. No fluff, just results, gentlemen. Let's get into it. Number 1. The emotional echo. Listen, my friend, women don't miss your presence. They miss how they felt in your presence. That's what most men never understand. You can send her 100 texts, post the best version of yourself online, even say all the right words. But if she doesn't feel something deep when she thinks of you, she'll move on like you were never there. The secret isn't to do more, it's to leave an imprint. Think about it like this: emotions are echoes. They linger long after the sound stops. When you trigger the right emotion in a woman, her brain replays it over and over, even in your absence. That's when she starts missing you without understanding why. Let's take a real example. David, 48, divorced for 3 years, started seeing a woman named Claire, 44. He was kind, generous, always checking in, but nothing stuck. She liked him, she just didn't miss him. Then one night, instead of talking about work or being agreeable, he shared something raw. He told her about the first time he failed, how he rebuilt himself without asking for pity. He didn't overshare, he owned it. The silence afterward wasn't awkward, it was electric. 2 days later, she texted him first. I can't stop thinking about that story. That right there is the emotional echo. Men think attraction is built in the moment. It's not. It's built in the aftertaste. How she feels when the conversation ends, how her body reacts, when she remembers your tone, your stillness, your eyes. Those moments plant the seed. And when you leave, her mind waters it. Here's what kills the echo: neediness. If you're always trying to reassure her to fill the silence, you smother the space where emotion grows. Let her miss you by not flooding her with access. You're not punishing her, you're allowing the memory to breathe. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, don't run from the pause, let it work for you. After a great moment, step back. Don't text the next morning just to prove interest. Let anticipation do the heavy lifting. The silence after impact is more powerful than the noise before it. Want her to miss you? Don't give her everything in one sitting. Show depth, not detail. Hint at stories, don't explain them. Let your tone carry weight. Speak less, mean more. The goal isn't to impress her in real time, it's to create a resonance that follows her home. Because here's the truth, emotional echoes don't fade quickly. They replay in quiet moments while she's driving, showering, or lying awake at night. That's when she feels you again, not as a text on her phone, but as a pulse in her memory. If you build that kind of presence, you'll never have to chase anyone. They'll come back to reconnect with the version of themselves they only feel around you. If this hits home, type it in the comments. I create echoes. Stick with me, because what's next will show you how mystery turns memory into obsession, and you won't want to miss that. Number 2. Mystery turns her on. Let's cut through the noise, folks. Mystery isn't a game, it's psychological fuel. The less she knows, the more her mind has to work. And when her mind works, her emotions follow. What kills attraction faster than anything else? Predictability. When she can read your every move, when she knows you'll text first, call back, explain everything, she relaxes, and comfort kills curiosity. Mystery doesn't mean being secretive or fake. It means leaving room for her imagination to fill in the blanks. The human brain hates open questions, it craves closure. When you give her just enough but not everything, her mind loops. She replays the moment, the tone of your voice, the things you didn't say. That's where desire starts, in the spaces you leave open. Here's the truth. Most men ignore women are emotional problem solvers. They don't chase answers, they chase the feeling of solving them. That's why being an open book never works. You don't create fascination by showing your entire story. You create it by showing depth and withholding the full map. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The secret of all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious." In simple terms, mastery is built in restraint. You control what's seen and what's left unseen. The mystery doesn't make you confusing, it makes you compelling. It invites her to step closer, to invest energy in figuring you out. And the more energy she spends trying to understand you, the more emotionally tied she becomes. Think about it. The first few dates with someone new are exciting, not because you know them, but because you don't. Every detail feels charged because your brain is filling gaps, guessing motives, imagining possibilities. That's dopamine at work. The brain's reward chemical triggered by anticipation, not certainty. The moment she has you all figured out, the reward fades. The Stoics understood this long before neuroscience did. Epictetus taught, if you wish to be loved, love moderation. Moderation in words, in actions, in access. You give enough to connect, but never so much that you become ordinary. Your life, your thoughts, your plans, they should unfold gradually. Like chapters of a story she earns the right to read. Here's a rule you can live by: never explain everything you feel. Show understanding through behavior, not explanations. When you answer questions, give short truths that open more curiosity. If she asks, "What are you thinking?" don't dump your entire inner world. Try just watching how people move. That's it. Let her wonder what that means. You haven't lied, you've created intrigue. Mystery also lives in timing. Respond when it makes sense, not instantly. Leave pauses in conversation. Hold her gaze, then look away first. Every small act of unpredictability builds tension. Tension is the pulse of attraction. Seneca said, "Nothing is more honorable than a heart that does not hurry." Don't rush to fill space with noise or reassurance. Your silence, when used with calm intent, becomes magnetic. She starts to lean into the quiet, because that's where she feels something she can't quite name. And remember, mystery isn't manipulation, it's mastery of attention. You're not withholding out of fear, you're pacing connection out of strength. So keep your life a story worth discovering, not a script already read. When she can sense there's always more behind your calm, she'll never stop thinking about what's next. If you get this, drop it below, I master mystery. Stay tuned, because next we'll talk about how to anchor that emotion so it keeps pulling her back again and again. Number 3, anchor her desire. Here's the truth, my friend. Attraction doesn't live in logic. It lives in anchors. Moments, words, touches, or even sounds that attach emotion to memory. And if you understand this, you'll stop chasing attention and start owning presence. When you make a woman feel something powerful, her brain ties that emotion to whatever triggered it you. That's called associative imprinting. Every time she feels that emotion again, her mind replays you like a song she didn't mean to love. Let's make this real. Tom, 46, met Melissa, 43, at a small wine bar in Austin. They had instant chemistry, deep talk, laughter that spark everyone chases. But Tom didn't overplay it. He didn't fill every silence. He watched her speak, listened fully, then leaned in and said quietly, "You have a calm way of making chaos feel like peace." That line wasn't flattery. It was emotional framing. He tied her energy to his perception. For the rest of the night, every time she smiled, she remembered that moment. When they parted, he simply said, "Let's not ruin this by saying too much," then left. 2 days later, Melissa texted, "I can't stop thinking about what you said." That's anchoring. He linked a specific emotional state being seen and desired calmly to him. You can do the same, but only if you stop trying to impress and start creating moments of emotional focus. Think less about saying the right words and more about how you want her to feel. Safe, desired, intrigued. Choose it then, design for it. Here's the formula. Emotion plus timing plus sensory cue equals anchor. When you trigger emotion, pair it with something physical or verbal that's uniquely yours. A slow smile, a soft pause before saying her name, a question no one's ever asked her before. The next time she feels that emotion in the shower, at work, anywhere, the brain brings you back with it. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you create the right emotional color in her mind, it stains everything that follows. Anchors can also be simple. A scent you wear only once in a while, a song you hum quietly, a word you use sparingly. It's not about quantity, it's about intensity. The fewer the cues, the stronger the association. But don't overdo it. If you repeat the same gesture or phrase too often, the brain desensitizes. Anchors lose power when they become predictable. Think of them like sparks, small, well-timed, intentional. Let me be clear, this isn't manipulation. You're not forcing emotion. You're giving her experiences worth remembering. Real connection feels different, and when it does, the brain labels it as rare. Rare things stick. If you've ever noticed how a single glance or moment of silence can stay with you for years, that's proof. The human mind remembers energy better than words. And that's what women miss most. Not what you said, but how your presence made them feel seen without effort. So next time you're with her, forget the lines. Focus on the atmosphere. Let the room slow down when you speak. Let your calm become the thing she feels safest around. Because once her emotions anchor to you, she'll start chasing that peace like oxygen. If this makes sense, type it in the comments. I build emotional anchors. Stay with me, because next we'll talk about the fine art of uncertainty and how a little unpredictability can make her crave you even more. Number 4. The power of uncertainty. Let's be real, my friend. Certainty feels good, but it doesn't attract. Comfort might keep her calm, but uncertainty keeps her awake. The moment she knows exactly how you'll respond, when you'll text, and what you'll say, the mystery dies. And when mystery dies, desire fades with it. Here's the paradox. Women don't crave chaos, they crave emotional tension. They want to feel slightly off balance, just enough to wonder, what's he thinking? What's he going to do next? That tension keeps her engaged. It's the difference between watching a movie where you know the ending and one where every scene keeps you guessing. Most men kill uncertainty by trying to prove reliability. They over-explain, over-communicate, and overshare. They think safety means transparency, but it's the unknown that pulls people closer. Predictability doesn't build connection, it builds routine. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." He wasn't telling you to be robotic. He was reminding you that control isn't about saying more, it's about saying less with intention. The Stoics valued restraint not as silence but as strength. You control the frame when you control your impulses, especially the impulse to explain yourself. When you remove the element of mystery, you also remove her investment, because emotional investment comes from curiosity. When she's unsure where she stands, Her mind works harder to interpret you. That effort, that mental energy deepens the emotional bond. Think about your own experiences. The people who linger in your thoughts aren't the ones who gave you everything easily. They're the ones who left you wondering. They said something that made you think. They left a moment hanging in the air, unfinished but charged. Uncertainty, when used correctly, is not manipulation, it's emotional leadership. You're guiding the rhythm of connection. You're allowing her to lean in, to fill in the blanks, to chase understanding. The key is balance. Too much distance feels cold, too much clarity feels dull. The art is in giving her just enough to stay intrigued. Seneca wrote, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." In other words, stop trying to control the outcome. Control yourself instead. You don't need to chase validation or prove anything. You need to be comfortable enough with the unknown that your calm makes her restless. When you move with that kind of grounded unpredictability, she'll lean toward your energy without even realizing why. Here's how you apply this. Stop announcing your next move. Don't tell her every detail of your plans. When she asks about your day, give her the truth, but not the entire story. Good, productive. Got some things done I've been working on. Then change the subject, not cold composed. When you part ways, don't always say when you'll text next. Let her wonder. That wondering builds anticipation, and anticipation is the fuel of attraction. Remember, certainty is comfort, uncertainty is chemistry. And chemistry is what she remembers long after the words fade. If you've ever felt tired of being predictable, this is your moment to shift it. Because once you master emotional uncertainty, you become the man she can't quite figure out and can't stop thinking about. If that sounds like the kind of man you want to become, consider joining the private membership. Inside, we go deeper into stoic emotional control, attraction, psychology, and masculine calm tools you can actually use. Join if you're serious about leveling up, not just watching from the sidelines. If this resonates, say it: I master uncertainty. Number 5. Leave her wanting more. Let's talk about one of the hardest lessons for men to learn: knowing when to leave. Not because you've lost interest, but because you understand something most men never grasp. Attraction doesn't grow in constant presence. It grows in unfinished moments. See, every interaction has a rhythm, a natural rise and fall of emotional energy. Most guys stay too long. They keep talking, explaining, trying to make the moment last. But when you overstay, you turn electricity into noise. The magic disappears. Leaving her wanting more means walking away when the energy is high, not when it's flat. It means ending the call when laughter is still echoing, leaving the date when her eyes still want one more look. That's how you become the thought that replays after you're gone. Let me show you what this looks like. Rick, 52, from Chicago, met a woman named Laura, 47, at a business mixer. They hit it off, fun, teasing banter, that easy connection. She kept asking him questions, trying to stretch the moment. Most men would have stayed until the conversation ran dry. Rick didn't. He checked his watch, smiled, and said, "I'd love to keep this going, but I have an early start. Let's pick it up another time." He left her with the echo of energy, not exhaustion. The next afternoon she messaged him, "You disappeared too fast." I was still laughing. That's the power of ending on the rise. You create a vacuum, and nature hates a vacuum. Her mind fills that empty space with thoughts of you. Leaving her wanting more isn't cold. It's disciplined. It's about emotional timing. You don't give her closure, you give her curiosity. When a moment ends with a question mark instead of a period, it loops in her mind. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That applies here. Don't say you're different, act differently. Show restraint when every other man gives in to impulse. The one who controls when to engage and when to step away is the one who gets remembered. Here's what's really happening when you leave at the emotional high point. Her brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that fuels craving. The brain links that reward high with you, but because it ended before full satisfaction, it triggers desire for continuation. You become unfinished business, and unfinished business always returns. This works in every interaction: texts, calls, dates, even intimacy. Don't reply instantly to every message. Don't drag out goodbyes. Don't try to make every conversation complete. Completion is comfort. Incompleteness is attraction. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing hard to get. It's about emotional awareness. You leave because you understand rhythm, not because you're avoiding connection. You respect the energy of the moment and protect its tension. Rick told me later, I used to stay and talk until the spark died. Now I leave when it's brightest. That one shift changed everything. So here's what I want you to remember. The right time to leave isn't when you're bored, it's when you still feel the pull. That's how you turn moments into memories. If this resonates, type it in the comments. I end strong. Stay with me, because next we'll talk about the subtle art of silence and how saying nothing can make her think of you louder than words ever could. Number 6. The perfect exit. Here's something most men never master. They know how to enter a moment, but not how to leave one. And that's where real attraction lives. It's not just about what you say when you're there, it's about what lingers after you're gone. The perfect exit isn't running away or disappearing without a word. It's leaving with control, grace, and timing. It's when you walk away at the height of connection, when she's still processing the feeling you just created. That's when her mind replays you. That's when she starts to miss you before you've even left the room. Every conversation, every date, every touch has an emotional arc, a rise, a peak, and a fall. Most men wait until the fall to leave. They stay until the energy drops, until the moment turns casual or comfortable. But the man who understands timing knows how to end on the peak. Why does it matter so much? Because of how the brain works. Neuroscience calls it the peak end rule. People remember two things: the emotional high point and how it ended. If you leave at the emotional high, that's the version of you she remembers. That's the emotional photograph her mind keeps replaying. Seneca said, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." In other words, every moment deserves your full presence, and every departure should carry intention. You don't just drift out. You exit like a man who knows his time has value. Now here's the mistake many men make. They think leaving early is rude or signals disinterest. It doesn't. What actually communicates strength is ending something while it still feels alive. You're not cutting it short, you're protecting the spark. You're giving her something to think about, something to anticipate next time. Imagine you're talking to a woman, the vibe is flowing, she's laughing, leaning in, you can feel the chemistry. Most guys try to stretch that moment, hoping to lock it in. But the more you stretch, the faster it thins out. The perfect exit happens right when things feel almost too good to leave. That's when you say, "This has been great. Let's not ruin it by overdoing it." Then smile, step back and go, "It's not arrogance. It's discipline." The ability to walk away when every instinct says, "Stay longer," separates men who get remembered from men who get forgotten. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The exit tests that power. Can you control your urge to overstay? Can you end on your own terms, even when emotion pulls you to keep going? That's emotional mastery in motion. The perfect exit also builds anticipation. It sends one clear message: I'm not here to fill space, I'm here to create impact. You become the man who respects time, energy, and connection. That kind of confidence makes people lean in. It's rare. And here's the beauty: when you master the exit, you control the story. You decide how she remembers you. You leave her with energy, not exhaustion. She walks away wanting more, not relieved. It's over. That's how attraction deepens, not through constant presence, but through well-timed absence. So next time you feel that moment peaking, don't fight the urge to stay. Smile, say something real but simple, and walk away like it was part of the plan. Let her miss you in that silence. Let the pause work for you. If this hits home, write it below. I master the exit. Because when you do, every goodbye becomes an invitation for more. Number 7. Silence that seduces. Most men fear silence. They rush to fill every second with words, jokes, or explanations. But here's the truth, my friend. Silence, when used correctly, is one of the most seductive forces on earth. It's not the words that make her feel something. It's the space between them. Let's be real. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It exposes insecurity, impatience, and emotional imbalance. Most men crumble under it. But the man who can sit calmly in silence, who can look her in the eyes without the need to speak, becomes magnetic. Because in that stillness, she feels your composure. She feels your control. Take David, 45, from Seattle. He'd just started seeing a woman named Erica, 42. During their third dinner together, the conversation slowed. She stopped talking, watching him, almost testing him with the quiet. David didn't panic. He smiled slightly, leaned back and held eye contact. 10 seconds passed, then 20, and she finally laughed, not from nervousness but from intrigue. Later she told him, "You're hard to read. I like that." That's the power of silence. It says everything without saying anything. See, women are emotional readers. They feel more than they hear. When you stay silent and comfortable, she reads that calm as power. But when you fidget, overtalk, or rush to fill the air, she senses weakness, a lack of grounding. Seneca wrote, "Silence is a lesson learned from the many sufferings of life." In other words, true silence isn't empty, it's earned. It's what comes from mastering your emotions so completely that you no longer need noise to validate your presence. Here's what most guys get wrong. They think silence means doing nothing. It doesn't. It means owning the moment without effort. Your posture, your breathing, your expression, that's your language now. When a man can communicate confidence through stillness, it leaves a deeper impression than 1,000 clever lines. Imagine this. You're sitting across from a woman, the conversation hits a pause. Instead of panicking, you let it breathe. You sip your drink. You glance at her, not with hunger, but with certainty. That pause becomes electric. Because in her mind, she's asking, what's he thinking? Why isn't he trying so hard? That's seduction without words. That's dominance without aggression. But silence doesn't just happen in person. It's equally powerful in your absence. When you stop texting first, when you delay your response, when you don't jump to fill the digital gap, that's psychological silence. And it makes her lean in, because humans chase what pulls away. David told me later, "When I stopped trying to prove myself, women started chasing the mystery." He realized silence wasn't distance, it was gravity. It draws people in when you use it with confidence. The key is this: don't weaponize silence. Don't use it to punish or manipulate. Use it to lead the emotional rhythm. Create calm where others create chaos. The right kind of silence doesn't push her away, it makes her crave your presence. Remember, words are cheap. Every man can talk. But few can stay silent and still make her feel seen. If you've ever talked too much and watched the spark fade, this is your sign to stop chasing comfort and start mastering quiet. Because silence, when paired with strength, doesn't repel, it seduces. Type it in the comments, my friend, I speak through silence. And stay tuned, because what comes next will show you how to leave a lasting mark without ever saying goodbye. Number 8. Less is more. Here's something most men don't understand. Attraction doesn't grow from effort, it grows from restraint. The more you give, the less she values it. The less you give, the more she craves it. In the psychology of desire, less is always more. You see, most guys think that to make a woman like them, they have to constantly prove themselves, constant messages, constant compliments, constant availability. But that kind of energy doesn't inspire attraction. It drains it, because what's always available becomes ordinary. In contrast, when you pull back, when you become selective with your words, your attention, your presence, something powerful happens. She starts to wonder. She starts to chase clarity. And in her chase, she invests emotionally. That's the secret. She values what she works for, not what she's handed. Let's strip this down to its essence. Less effort doesn't mean less interest. It means precision. It means saying what matters, doing what counts, and cutting out the noise. The more efficient your communication, the more powerful your energy feels. Think of it like this: if every man in her life is talking loudly, the one who speaks softly, or only when necessary, becomes the one who stands out. Silence becomes your amplifier. Space becomes your message. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The Stoics understood that real strength is quiet. Real confidence doesn't need to announce itself. When you understand that, you stop trying to impress and start to express. When you say less, your words carry weight. When you appear less, your presence gains gravity. That's what Stoicism and attraction have in common. Restraint creates meaning. Now, this doesn't mean you play distant or cold. The goal isn't to withdraw, it's to be deliberate. When you speak, make it count. When you give attention, make it intentional. Most men scatter their energy everywhere, hoping something will stick. But a focused man, a man who chooses where to place his time, becomes magnetic. Here's what this looks like in real life. Instead of checking in every morning, send one thoughtful message that actually says something. Instead of chasing every conversation, leave one open-ended. Instead of saying, "I miss you," show it in your tone, in your presence, when you're there. That balance of giving less but meaning more creates the emotional tension that makes her miss you, Seneca said. It is quality rather than quantity that matters. He wasn't talking about women, but the principle applies perfectly. The quality of your energy is what women respond to. Every man can give attention. Few can give attention that feels rare. In a world where everyone is loud, restraint feels mysterious. Mystery creates curiosity, and curiosity creates emotional pull. The next time you feel the urge to text, talk, or explain, pause. Ask yourself, am I adding value or filling silence? If it's just to fill the gap, don't. Let her sit with the silence. Let her miss the energy that once filled it. Because when you understand this truth, that less presence can create more impact, you stop chasing attention and start commanding it. And the moment she realizes your energy isn't unlimited, she starts to protect it. That's when you stop being an option and become an obsession. If you feel that shift, drop this in the comments. I give less, mean more. Stay with me, because what comes next will teach you how to turn that restraint into emotional dominance. Number 9. Touch that haunts. Let's be real, my friend. Touch is a language all its own. It speaks louder than words, and when done right, it can stay in her memory far longer than any message you'll ever send. The problem is, most men don't understand the art of touch. They treat it like a goal instead of a language. They rush it. They misuse it. And because of that, their touch is forgotten as soon as it happens. The kind of touch that haunts her, the one she replays at night, is subtle, intentional, and deeply aware. It's not about taking, it's about sending energy. You're not touching her body, you're touching her nervous system. Take Michael, 48, from Boston. He was seeing a woman named Natalie, 44, smart, elegant, guarded. On their third date, they were sitting side by side at a rooftop bar. The wind was cold, the music soft. She was talking about her week, and at one point he simply placed his hand gently on her forearm. Slow, firm, but calm. No words, just stillness. She didn't pull away. She leaned in slightly. Later that night, she texted him, "I can't stop thinking about how you touched my arm." That's not about physical attraction, that's about presence. Because the truth is, your touch carries your state of mind. If you're nervous, your touch feels anxious. If you're desperate, it feels needy. But if you're calm, grounded, and deliberate, she feels that too. Your touch becomes an extension of your emotional control. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The same rule applies here. It's not the touch itself, but how you deliver it. Stoicism teaches control, awareness, stillness, all the qualities that make physical connection powerful rather than impulsive. Touch that haunts doesn't happen often. It's rare because it requires restraint. You don't reach out constantly. You let the space between touches build anticipation. The less frequent your touch, the more powerful it becomes. Think about it. The most memorable touches are never rushed or excessive. They happen naturally, usually when words fail. A soft touch on the back when she walks past. A brief brush of the hand that lingers half a second longer than expected. A gentle touch to guide her through a door. Each one leaves a silent mark. Michael told me later, "I realized I used to touch women like I was asking for permission. Now I touch like I already belong in the moment." That's confidence, not arrogance. It's the calm certainty that your presence speaks for itself. The secret isn't in frequency, it's in timing. You don't touch to get closer, you touch to connect. When the moment feels alive, when the energy between you is thick with tension, that's when a subtle, confident touch can change everything. But remember, less is still more. If your touch is constant, it loses meaning. If it's rare, it becomes powerful. You want her body to remember your calm even when you're gone. Because here's the truth, a man who knows how to touch a woman's soul with stillness will always outlast the man who grabs for her body with urgency. So next time you're with her, don't rush it. Be patient. Let silence and energy build. When you finally reach out, do it with intention, not impulse. That's how your touch turns into a memory. If this resonates, drop it in the comments. I touch with purpose. And don't go anywhere. What's coming next will teach you how to stay unforgettable long after you walk away. Number 10. Walk away like a god. There's a moment every man faces, the moment to walk away. Most men stumble there. They beg, they cling, they try to convince her of their worth. But the truth is, my friend, the way you leave defines you far more than the way you arrive. Walking away like a god isn't arrogance, it's awareness. It's the realization that your energy is a gift and not everyone deserves it. It's not about punishing her, it's about protecting your peace. You know your value, you know what you bring. And when the connection no longer reflects that, you leave without noise, without anger, without a trace of desperation. Here's the secret: women never forget the man who walked away with composure. The one who didn't chase, didn't explain, didn't argue, just smiled, turned, and disappeared into his purpose. That man becomes the ghost in her thoughts, because detachment when rooted in strength is unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." The Stoics believed that no person, no emotion, no desire should have the power to enslave your peace. That's what walking away like a god means. You move forward knowing that your peace is worth more than any temporary thrill. Think about it. The average man leaves chaos behind. The Stoic man leaves silence. He exits without resentment, without drama, and that silence echoes. She'll expect a fight, a flood of messages, a desperate reach. But instead there's nothing, just stillness. And that's when she realizes she's lost something rare. Walking away doesn't mean cutting her off. It means withdrawing your emotional investment. You stop feeding the connection. You stop explaining what she already knows but won't admit. You stop playing a game that was never meant to serve your peace. You walk away not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring about yourself again. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Freedom isn't walking away from her, it's walking back toward yourself. When you leave with calm strength, you send a silent message. I don't need your validation to know my worth. That energy haunts her. Because most men crumble when rejected, but the man who stands tall, unshaken, radiates something divine. Picture it. She tries to provoke you, test your emotions, get a reaction, but all she gets is a steady gaze, a calm smile, and a quiet goodbye. You don't defend, you don't chase. You simply step out of the emotional storm like a man who knows he controls the weather. And here's the paradox: when you truly walk away, that's often when she comes back. Because emotional detachment creates scarcity, and scarcity creates value. But that's not the goal. You don't walk away to be wanted. You walk away because you finally understand you never needed to stay to prove your power. Walking away like a god means you choose yourself every single time. You choose your purpose over approval, your peace over chaos, your growth over validation. So when it's time to go, go with silence, go with grace, go with power. Leave her with calm, not conflict. Leave her wondering, not remembering an argument. Leave like a storm that cleared the sky, because gods don't chase. They simply rise, and everything below learns to miss the light. So, my friend, what you've just learned isn't about tricks, games, or manipulation. It's about power. Real masculine power, the kind that comes from emotional control, silence, restraint, and purpose. Every part of this video has been about reclaiming that strength, understanding that attraction isn't built through noise or effort, but through presence, mystery, and calm detachment. When you master that balance, you stop chasing women and start attracting them naturally. If you're ready to take this to the next level, to learn how to live these principles, not just understand them, join the private membership. That's where we go deeper into Stoic psychology, emotional dominance, and the discipline that builds high-value men from the inside out. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. Stay connected. Every day we sharpen the mind, strengthen the frame, and remind men like you what real power feels like. Thank you for watching, my friend. Stay calm, stay grounded, and I'll see you tomorrow.